Hey everyone, the 2018 Oscars are on Sunday and we're here with our final predictions for all the big awards. Who will win? Who should win? After the Best Picture is announced, will Moonlight somehow win again? We'll get to our predictions, but first, welcome to New Rockstars News.
Yay.
Our deep dive into all the biggest stories this week. So we're also going to talk about Avengers Infinity War, some dark rumors about the DC cinematic world, the new Wreck-It Ralph sequel trailer, and more. I'm Erik Voss, and joining me at the table here today are...
I'm Tommy Bechtold, and yes, I've gained weight.
No one was going to say anything.
Okay.
All
I
right.
think blue's a very fetching color on you.
I'm Filup Molina. Yes, I've gained weight.
And Maude, you don't have to make any comment about your weight. Don't play that game. Yeah. All right. Well, let's, guys. I'm Erik Voss. I'm constantly gaining weight.
Even now.
Yeah. I'm just
agree.
waiting for deaths, so those 7 grams will finally be taken off my.
21 grams.
21 grams.
Not you.
I don't think I'm
A
gonna
soul.
say
A third of a soul. Okay, let's get started with our top story today, guys. The Academy Awards on Sunday. Of the many know-it-alls ranting about movies on YouTube, I would venture to say that we here at New Rockstars might be among the most thoughtful or obsessive. The line is very thin between those two things. So before we tune into the Oscars, let's give our final predictions of what movies we think will take home the big awards. And guys, let's start with the top 2 categories, Best Picture and Best Director. There are 9 movies nominated for Best Picture. Call Me By Your Name, The Darkest Hour, or just Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. And of those 9, 5 of them are nominated for Best Director. Christopher Nolan for Dunkirk, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, Paul Thomas Anderson for The Phantom Thread, and Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water. Oftentimes, the movie that wins for Best Director also wins for Best Picture, but in recent years, Academy voters have somehow concluded that the Best Directed movie isn't necessarily the best movie. We've talked a lot about many of these movies on this channel, but I'm curious to know from you guys, which of these films do you predict will win Best Picture and Director, and which do you think should win Best Picture and Director?
Will win. Just saying on Best Director for a second because it's in my head and I have limited space. I lost it.
No, best director. Director.
All right, Guillermo del Toro is going to win that.
Yes.
It's. Have you noticed it's one of those things where it's like it's his time.
Yeah.
The legacy
like, there's that
win.
energy
Yeah.
of
Like the
it's his
Scorsese
time.
thing with it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We're going to give it to him, not
win.
for his best movie.
I would want Greta Gerwig to win. I just think like she's amazing, and if she won, more movies like Lady Bird and the movies that Greta Gerwig makes would get made. So I think that'd be cool. Best Picture, yeah, I'll give it to Shape of Water too, even though I don't want it to. I'd say Dunkirk is a very interesting picture, which sometimes works really well with voters. Tommy's giving me the eyebrows, which is my sign to wrap it up. No, but I'll say real quick,
baby.
Dunkirk was the most popular on YouTube, which has predicted things before. But who knows about trends? Because right now only Mexicans win Best Director, actually. So maybe that's more important.
Okay. Well, I think it's going to be a Shape of Water clean sweep. I want it to be a Dunkirk clean sweep. That was my favorite movie that I saw. I thought it was also just directing wise seemed like such a difficult movie to direct.
Yes.
And
3 consistent timelines.
yeah.
Well, inconsistent
and
timelines.
like the way that it just slowly evolves, like I mean you can kind of figure it out at the beginning that that's the setup, but then the way that they start to weave together, I just really, and also the movie just made me anxious the whole time.
Yeah, that's
like, I was
Hans Zimmer,
watching-
though.
like, I haven't had a movie affect me like
That
physically like that in a while.
like ticking phone.
Yeah.
Which is
So
actually a
long.
sound that he puts in his scores is ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it his grandfather's pocket watch?
Is it
Something
He
like
made his
that.
grandfather come into the booth and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Just sit there
"I'm
going,
have to do this.
Tick, tick. No, lower pups.
So that's my
Okay.
picks.
Yes.
Those are solid. Yeah, those different
solid picks,
timelines, using different speeds of a story, but in a larger piece, still knowing how to place them in order to ratchet up tension. Yeah, no, that's a good call.
It's a true toss-up this year. I don't know. I feel like in past years it's come down to like a couple films. Like I could see any of these 9 for the most part going home with it. A director seems like a pretty clear lock. I mean, for the Directors Guild Awards, Guillermo del Toro did take home, and the Producers Guild, Shape of Water won. So those tend to be pretty strong indicators, at least for director, because it's a smaller pool of people who are voting on that category. But for picture, they have a ton of different people who, like any past winner, I think gets to be an Academy voter. Anyone who is listed as a producer on a past winner, and it's a huge group of people who are voting, and they tend to be.
They opened it up to be way bigger because they realized that before it was something like only the people that had won could vote, or whatever it was, and it was like 99% white men.
Yeah, sure.
Older than like 60.
Yeah,
It's just Spielberg and Zemeckis like meeting in a room and going
okay. Yeah. I think since they have taken some efforts in recent years to diversify the voting pool for Best Picture, I'm hoping that my pick for Best Director and Picture, Get Out, will take it home. Jordan Peele, I think it's great. I think he's still kind of a rookie, I think, in many directors' eyes, so maybe they'll kind of wait to see what he does for his next couple pictures before giving him the win. But I think for picture, I could see it taking home. It's a very relevant, it's a very socially conscious movie. It's a very well-manufactured film, and it breaks a lot of molds in terms of what genre it even is.
I watched the Q&A, and Jordan Peele said, I successfully wrote a movie where a black guy kills a white rich family and the audience is applauding.
Right.
And I was like, you're
crazy.
so right.
It's such a good, what a miraculous
that's a great
win.
reason, though, that I would say that I think he's not going to win Best Director. Even though his depiction of the sunken place is really cool, it's not that outside of what other directors could come up with. But yeah, that screenplay, the fact that it makes us feel every emotion.
Yeah.
And also, I read something with him too, where he was talking about he literally did 400 drafts of that screenplay.
Oh, wow.
400 drafts of it, and it's like, so I think they're gonna give him Best Screenplay. That's my guess, even though he'd be great, but he's got a long career.
He is, yeah.
There's a lot of great themes in that movie as well. I mean, the thing that saved Daniel's character was he was picking cotton, and the cotton that he put in his ears was the reason why he lived and saved the day.
A deer motif throughout, and all kinds of things. I'd love to get that.
Yeah,
so I hate horror movies, and I saw this one twice.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big.
Yeah, she does hate
for that alone.
I hate them as well. They're too scary, too spooky
I don't like
for me.
My imagination's too vivid.
Well, you lived a real life one.
Yeah.
That they turned into a movie.
You were the bad guy in that story,
I'm
right?
the inspiration for Jigsaw. Yeah. I was obsessed with puzzles and games as a boy, and that's the reason my family doesn't talk to me. The alive ones. The dead ones do, though. They still talk to me all the time.
Yeah, they said it got too weird, his life story, so they reduced it down.
And they made it into Coco, right? That's the whole Alfredo story.
Yeah,
was
that's the
your
story.
dead relatives.
Found my games. Yeah, everyone who lost my games became part of Coco.
Yeah.
Coco, best animated. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I wouldn't rule out a little Alec Baldwin picture called Boss Baby.
Don't stop it. So my picks. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jump in there.
Sorry, Maude.
It's okay. Shape of Water, I think it's going to clean up as well for Best Picture, Best Director. But I want Christopher Nolan to win. I think he's earned it. He's really done the legwork, and it's his time. But I want Call Me By Your Name to win Best Movie, Best Film, Best
Really?
Picture. I loved that movie. It just got me in the feels. I thought it was so relaxed and well done. I actually think it was a lot better than Lady Bird, and I loved Lady Bird. But I just think it was much better put together. It was visually stunning. It just tied it all together a lot better, and then took risks instead of, a teenage girl fighting with her mum. I lived that, I kind of related with that. But I think if it seems that the Academy is pushing the envelope a little bit more, pun intended, than before, especially since, we haven't really seen much from James Franco and his movie Disaster Artist. That's not really talked about
under
at
the rug
all.
there, yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
So I think Call Me By Your Name, it's time to have a beautiful gay love story. Win.
Yeah.
I think it'll win. My guess is that it would take adapted screenplay.
Yeah, I would love that as well.
Away from Logan, unfortunately. But, it sucks when they put him in competition, but that's the whole point. But yeah, I know. I do think they're going to acknowledge it. I actually, though, wonder if for the same reasons, if it's like, we got to pick as a voter, what political movement am I going with, right? A gay love story, the Get Out story, or the Me Too movement too with Three Billboards.
And that's why I think Three Billboards might have the better chance to win Best Picture. It did win for the SAG Awards, right? Yeah. And I think that is kind of a movie that might be, if you think political movement might be the dominant one at this year's.
Yeah, what's the hippest political movement right now?
Yeah.
I think it's definitely bringing the coal industry back.
Yeah, that would.
So is there any coal themed movies?
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
His name is Cole.
Oh, there you go. Well done.
Any movie about
That's
Santa
it,
Claus? Ooh, The Escape Clause. Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause is my new pick. for Best Picture ever.
All right.
All time.
Not up for debate.
Okay, great.
Well, so those are kind of our. Let us know what your picks would be, what you think should and will win, in the comments below. But for now, let's move on to the acting categories. We've already talked about some of these here. For Best Actor, the nominees are Timothée Chalamet for Call Me by Your Name, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, his final role. He announced he's retiring. Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire. Wow. Okay. For Best Actress, there's Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, and Meryl Streep for The Post. I know I'm listing here. We're almost done. For Best Supporting Actor, there's Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project, Woody Harrelson for 3 Billboards, Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water, Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World, and Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards. And then for Best Supporting Actress, there's Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Leslie Manville for Phantom Thread, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, and Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. So what are your guys' picks for what you think will win and what you think should win for these categories?
Should we list them straight for 2 minutes?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Laurie Metcalf. No, somebody else go. Yeah.
Maude?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Alrighty. For Best Actor, who will win? Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
He's won everything
Seems to
leading
be
up to
the-
it.
It
Yeah.
goes to the old man. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, he
Every time.
underwent a huge transformation for this role. I feel like we've
Check.
done Winston Churchill to death, personally. I mean, if you've seen The
Though
Crown,
it doesn't tend to
he's
get
covered in that.
nominated.
Lithgow was great.
But
yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree on Oldman. He seems to be another one of these like legacy wins, right? They're really giving him the trophy for his body of work, and you see that name on a list. You're like, how has he not won an Oscar before? I don't know if this is his best
He's
role
been,
that he's
honestly,
ever played, but
kind of been getting better.
Yeah.
I would say, like for a little stretch there, Gary Oldman was like doing like kind of a little, not schlock, but showing up for a paycheck.
Hey, we all saw The Fifth Element.
That's his best role.
I
That's
love
everyone
it.
involved in that movie's best movie.
Yeah.
ever.
That's a high point. High watermark for all of those
The
actors.
most likable Chris Tucker has ever been. Anyway. But Gary Oldman doing all the makeup, doing a
Yes.
historical figure,
Yeah,
true
tick, tick,
story,
tick.
yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Come on, yeah.
Who should win Best Actor? Daniel Kaluuya.
he's great.
I thought he was so amazing. He actually picked up at the BAFTAs the Best Newcomer, and that's a voted award.
That's a great
Okay.
So
category.
Yeah.
and I know I wish he had something
Yeah.
like that because Timothée Chalamet I think would be amazing in that category because he's only 21 years old and I think he's the youngest guy in about 60 years or 63 years to be
Wow.
nominated for Best Actor. So that's a
Yeah.
huge feat in itself. But you put him up next to Gary Oldman, you're like, come on.
Yeah.
It's not really comparable. So
Right.
maybe
You ever
Best
notice that
Newcomer.
the best actresses often kind of have like a surprisingly young girl? And
Yeah.
then, but the boys is kind of like we just
Old,
they don't
old,
learn how to
Yeah.
act.
Right, yeah.
They've got to grow into this.
Yeah. And then little girls, if they play creepy, it's like done. It's so easy to just play creepy as a little girl.
Yeah,
From
I think-
experience.
Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya is. It says something that like the most memorable image from Get Out is just like his face, his
With the
like
tear.
bloodshot
Yeah.
eyes, just crying as he's like in this trapped state. His face is just so expressive, you know.
But he
and,
said
like,
that role really took it out of him because he went to a dark place
Yeah.
to do that, and it was shot after shot, and he was just like, guys, like the sadness is really in me here.
Yeah.
Like he really got to him.
so much about that movie works, and like it's still interesting that if he's not replaceable in that role. Like I can't imagine that movie working as well with anyone else in that part. I mean, he would be one of my picks for should win. I agree that Oldman probably will win. I also think, I mean, I'm always just a big fan of D-Day. You know, like Daniel Day-Lewis. Like I think he was great in Phantom Thread, and he did so much in this role that he hasn't done before. There's not like he hasn't showed D-Day Lewis, man. Yeah.
Day-Day.
Day-Day.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Momo and Day-Day.
The problem with Daniel Day-Lewis is you can't retire and then come back for the role. Like I don't know. Apparently he was like, "Oh, I'm going to retire to become a fashion person."
He's
and
the
it's like,
Cher of
he's the Johnny Farnham if you're Australian, and you know what I'm talking about. But the thing is, it's like that for me.
It's a ghost
Commit.
in Australia.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
a
ghost
camp,
of Johnny Farnham.
yeah, summer camp ghost.
Your voice. Yeah, so that's why it rules it out for me. I don't like that. Commit. If you're
Fair
going to
enough.
quit,
Fair enough.
If you're
How
going to
about
stay,
you?
stay.
Bottom line.
I think, well, I agree. I think that all the indications point to Gary Oldman winning. But I do think like and to go back to the other things that we previously discussed, we're like ruling out the weird like Oscar just doing a full reverse course and just phantom threading everything and being like give it a clean sweep like we're gonna get, because it came in so late in the game too, it like even screening wise came in so late in the game, like it bumped a bunch of other people out that had been nominated for Golden Globes completely out of their categories. So
it's the least political of them too.
It's the easiest, like you really couldn't argue it, I guess. Like, but it would be frustrating for me, and I think I'm gauging from what everyone said. For all of us here, we'd be most frustrated by it. But I wouldn't be surprised, unfortunately. But I think it'll probably go to Roman J. Israel, obviously, Esquire.
What a weird nomination.
Only movie we haven't talked like.
No one saw that movie.
I saw from the trailer, and I have to admit I did not see that movie. And I was like, oh, this should just be called Going. It was like when Hilary Swank did the Amelia Earhart movie. I was like, they should just call this like Going for the Oscar. Like, she's clearly going for the Oscar. He's clearly going for an Oscar. This weird.
Man, he has enough. He's good.
He's great.
He's good.
Yeah. I mean, when we look at Best Actress,
I'm not saying he's not good. I just
we like Denzel Washington, Tommy. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's okay if you feel differently.
But see,
about
I like
that.
the Denzel Washington, but Denzel Washington, the state, not the city. A lot of people get them confused, just like Washington D.C. and Washington State.
Don't say that to an Australian. I'll believe you.
For Best Actress, the consensus seems to be going around Frances McDormand, who really did carry 3 billboards. It's such like a huge role for her, and she does kind of like loom larger than the movie itself in a lot of ways. And she's such a great actress. She's been in so many great films, so she's definitely earned it. And I don't know.
This is her Fargo 2.0, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a way. But instead of being the police, she's challenging the police.
Yeah, she
but
takes
it's that role
matters
where
in
it's
her
like,
hands.
yeah, she wears it. And she's already, I think, won for one of the ones leading up to it, whether it be a SAGs or a Critics or Golden Globes.
She took home a Tommy, which is my awards that I do in my living room to my cats.
They asked you to stop doing that.
The cats did.
Yeah,
There's too much water.
Yeah.
but she's quite political as well. So in lieu with the conversation about who's going to make a stand, she's going to get up there and use her speech to kick some ass, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I really think the female roles this year were, in my opinion, more interesting, including the Best Supporting Actress, which I think, I don't know, I'm kind of torn between Laurie Metcalf from Lady Bird and Allison Janney for
Allison
Bird
Janney.
gets it too,
Janney's just so great, and like I love her in everything that she's in.
She's taller than me. Do you know how few women are taller than me?
Wow.
6.
Yeah. There's about 6
We
or
got to
7.
get you guys to play one-on-one basketball.
Yeah.
That's what
I would totally.
I think you'd toast her.
Yeah.
I predict.
I don't know. I'm a bit of a pussy.
Yeah. And looking
No,
at
I played basketball before, and I just give the other opponent the ball the whole time,
that's
so they don't mow me down.
Technically not.
Share.
Sound.
I'm a nice person. That's all it is.
So you're going Franny Mac? I'm gonna give them all nicknames now.
Annie Mac, is that?
For
Franny Mac.
For
Franny Mac.
best-
Oh, I thought you
for
said
best-
Annie Mac. Is that
Franny
like a
Mac and
Nickelodeon show?
Lady May.
Alex
oh,
Mack?
Alex
Alex Mack is
Mack
what I'm thinking
turns
of.
into
Right.
water.
Why hasn't she been nominated? What's she been
And why
up
can't
to?
Franny Mac
So
do
we-
that to get the award?
Are we done with actress?
Yeah, I think we're done with actress. And any other Best
I was
Actress?
gonna say Meryl Streep did a fantastic
sure.
job in The Post.
She's not getting it.
And then also Margot Robbie did a great job. Margot Robbie keeps
And that
doing
movie
a great
was
job.
bonkers.
By the
Like,
way.
it was a weird.
So
She
I'm
did
just saying, Margot Robbie's gonna win one
Yeah.
at some point, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
For Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah. Harlem City
An
Nights.
Endurance
Yeah.
Award.
Thank you for being in this movie award.
But yeah, and these, it's Allison Janney is kind of the standout, especially playing against type. But yeah, I mean they're all great, honestly. God, actresses are so good.
No, yeah. And the Best Supporting Actor category, it seems to be the big supporting parts from 3 billboards seem to be dominated between Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell for these parts.
So do they split the vote? That's always
Yes.
the debate.
Good question. Yeah. I mean, I think Sam Rockwell tends to be the one. Like, people are still kind of getting used to the fact that Woody Harrelson's taking on some more serious roles. But Sam Rockwell has been playing a lot of interesting roles over the course of his career. He seems to be the favorite, I would say. Probably should win, and I don't know, in my opinion, would win. It's a very difficult role for him to play. Not a very likable person.
But I mean, then you've got Christopher Plummer, who came in and rescued and saved a movie from the Kevin Spacey saga, and he shot it in 7, 8, 10 days?
Yeah, exactly. Someone pointed out to me that if Christopher Plummer wins, it destroys everything everyone's ever said about the craft of acting.
Yeah.
Where it's like he just like shows up and like, what are the lines?
Right.
Good.
If they
Read them to me.
reward Daniel Day-Lewis for Best Actor and then also Christopher Plummer, they're basically saying, none of this really matters how
Yeah.
you do this. Like,
Yeah.
just feed me. He's probably like that whole every take. He was probably just like line.
And yet Daniel
Line.
Day-Lewis has probably been this consistent character for over a year
Yeah,
preparing
exactly.
for
He's
his
been
role.
phantom. He's been sewing with no thread
Yeah.
for 4
Yeah.
years.
One day I'll find it.
There's no. Where is it?
But let's move on now to talk about some movies that came out this year that maybe didn't have the luck to get an Oscar nomination that we thought were really good. Maybe just the politics of the nominating process went against them.
Sure. Right off the bat, I have to say that how is Blade Runner 2049 not all over these nominations? That movie is not even a movie. It's like transcendent. It's on another level. That's how I felt about Interstellar. That's like the last time I said that, where it's like you're not just watching a film and this doesn't need to be studied. Like so much is happening in this. Blade Runner 2049 checks off everything I could think of what would make a best picture, and it drove me nuts that it wasn't on there. Also, throw out there really quick that Ingrid Goes West is actually a really like it's Get Out like a little bit, and like the way it makes you feel. And Aubrey Plaza, honestly, like if she was gonna be nominated, like I feel like it could be for a character like that, not like her Safety Not Guaranteed character, but more one where she just goes out there and really plays hard. But yeah, both those movies are really great. You should check them out.
It's on Hulu now. Ingrid Goes West is free on Hulu now.
It's great,
That's cool.
especially if you are an Instagram celebrity and want to be terrified for your life.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I won't watch it then.
You're such a slut on Instagram.
My model page though. My personal page is all just for
That's
my
true.
friends.
I feel bad for Baby Driver. Personally,
Yeah.
it's the Kevin Spacey syndrome again, where it's a great movie. There was great acting in it. The editing and the music, the soundtrack combined, really, really well done. Edgar Wright is an amazing director, but of course, you can't go near it. It's
Yeah.
the Kevin Spacey stinkers on it.
Yeah.
That and Disaster Artist seem to be the two most punished movies because of one person's misdeeds. John Hamm, of course. I'm talking about.
It's such a shame because I barely remember Kevin Spacey, honestly, like as part of that movie. That movie is so much more than Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and if you think like a movie like All the Money in the World might have actually benefited because I don't know if Christopher Plummer would have been nominated if not this narrative behind the movie propelling him into that role. I think that's often the case if you look at movies like Baby Driver and even like Blade Runner 2049. The narrative and the story of the movie end up becoming what gets it into these categories and these nominations, not so much like the content of the movie itself.
Michelle Williams should have gotten at least a nod. She did such an amazing job twice with that movie. So I think that's a real shame that like the whole scandal over it really kind of put her performance in the shadows a little.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah.
She's great. She feels like one of the most punished actresses just out there. Like she just like can never win, and even in her roles.
Even on
like-
Dawson's Creek, she was like the most maligned character.
She was.
Yeah.
Tommy, you have a fave that didn't get nominated, right?
Yes. What? Now you just threw me on the spot.
No, you were telling me earlier that it was like should have gotten something.
Yeah.
The movie.
What are you doing to me right now?
The movie
It should.
Oh yes,
It
sorry.
definitely should have been nominated.
Yeah, I was surprised with how as a non-horror fan myself, not even non-horror fan, a person who's too afraid to watch horror movies.
Yes.
I thought the It was so universally beloved by horror fans and was considered this masterpiece. I was shocked that it didn't get any recognition at all. Although I guess maybe it's a hard movie to nominate because it's such an ensemble performance, so you can't really give out individual nominations. And then
Though the kids in that movie, like not all of them, but most of them are really good. Actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like horror, in addition to like sci-fi and superhero movies, tends to be unappreciated.
Yeah,
It's
that's
very
why Get
few.
Out is so spectacular.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's a horror comedy, which are the
Yeah.
two things that never get nominated.
And it also feels like some people were like tricked into like they're like, well, maybe it's more of just a thriller.
Yeah.
And then we can nominate it. And then
Yeah,
I'm
then
sure.
the security guard shows up or whatever and makes everyone laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let us know down below what your snubs in your eyes were from these nominations, and what movies that you think will win on Sunday, what movies you think should win, and what movies that you think we should all go out and see, even if they aren't really part of this whole Oscar campaign world. and we'll see what happens on Sunday. Hopefully our ballots will end up doing well if you're into that whole thing. But before we move on to our trivia question this week, I wanted to quickly update you guys on some big news that dropped this week. Avengers Infinity War will be released a week earlier than planned in the U.S., moving up from May 4th to April 27th.
For my dad's birthday.
That is the reason. From
He's
Kevin
a huge
Feige.
Avengers fan. He could not
Daddy
name one
Bechtold.
for $1 million. He could not name one Avenger. He'd be like,
Metal
The
Man.
strong
Rocket guy,
X-Man.
super hunk. He loves hunks.
Just like his son.
Yeah.
Well,
You
this
bet I
was
did.
this was announced on a jokey Twitter exchange between Robert Downey Jr. and Marvel Studios accounts. The movie will now premiere in America at the same time it does around the world, and it gives Marvel an aggressive head start to the summer movie season. Gives us a chance to avoid those spoiler tweets from our friends in Pakistan. Please stop doing that to us, guys. We watch movies a week after you do. We don't have the answers to your questions. But giving Sam, our friend, a little less time to get through his MCU rewatch. That whole screws with the timing, but
Also,
Sam, hurry.
give
hurry,
Star
hurry.
Wars its day back.
Right, right,
Star
yeah.
Wars
they
is
moved
May
it.
the 4th.
Right,
so it's
yeah.
like, when I first heard that, I was like, what are you doing? So
Yeah.
this makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want to compete with another Disney property
Yeah.
in the future.
For sure. Well, let's move on to this week's trivia question,
I
guys.
can't wait.
I got this week for
Yeah, you
sure.
got it. You got
Yeah.
it. Okay, so it's an Oscar-themed trivia question.
Who is Oscar?
I hope you know your the Grouch or Office. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Of all the DC or Marvel superheroes to appear in Oscar-nominated films, Batman has appeared in the most, 6 movies. Which superhero has appeared in the second most Oscar-nominated films? So I think we're looking not at nominations, number of films that achieved Oscar nominations. After Batman, who has appeared in 6 movies that have had that accolade, which superhero has appeared in the second most number of films?
I have no idea what this
The
question
actual
is.
heroes?
We're
So
looking for the name of the superhero.
Name of
So-
a superhero who
Has-
acts on the side and
Yeah.
goes and is an Oscar
So
films?
there have been 6 Batman movies to get
Yes.
Oscar nominations.
Okay.
Okay. What other? Let's think of all the other superheroes we know have appeared in movies. There's been, for example, several X-Men movies.
Right.
Name a superhero who has appeared after Batman in the second most number of films that have gotten Oscar nominations.
For those movies, right? Because he's not acting on the side. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're the only person who is confused by that.
Tommy's just writing his name again. And he can't-
Great. So we're all
Lord,
writing our
no,
answers right now. Write your answer down below in the comments, and don't skip ahead to the end of the video. Wait, and see if you're right. Don't look it up.
Oh, that's
you
right.
know?
Suicide Squad got nominated.
Suicide Squad did get nominated. That was one of the 6 Batman movies he did appear in Suicide
Oh,
Squad.
he
So
did
technically,
too.
he does get a point for that. Okay.
Sneaky.
Well, later in the show, we'll review the answer to our trivia question. The closest, as decided by our judges, we'll do our sign off goodbyes at the end of the video. If multiple people get it right, we'll figure that out when we get there. And then the winner will get to do our sign off goodbyes and whatever dumb new character they're trying out. Meanwhile, the loser will have to cleverly riff on all of our in other news
real
headlines.
quick, the winner doesn't have to do a new character. Eric's version of winning is he gets to do a new character because
Right,
he loves characters.
which-
I've met
you
like
can do
4
whatever
of
you
them.
want.
What reward could be better?
Just Eric's voices. You have to
Was
do
there a
Eric's
robot
favorite
at one
character.
stage?
There hasn't been a robot yet.
Oh, wow. Maybe he's just a little shy and he's
this
waiting
is
to
gonna be
come
a trick
out.
question. A trick answer.
All questions
It's
are
gonna be
tricks.
Like,
Only declarative statements are honest.
It's gonna be like Johnny Five from Short Circuit. Or something.
Bonnie Tyler referred to him as a hero. Man,
Yes.
this is a deep cut we're going down
Does
right
need
now.
a hero at the end of the
hero.
night. Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of Batman, let's move on to another potential big story that dropped this week.
Oh, boy.
Some rumors about some very bad news that is about to break concerning Warner Brothers and the DC cinematic world.
They can't take it. God.
We can't. This week, John Campea cryptically announced on his open mic podcast that he is 100% certain over some upcoming bad news regarding the DCEU that will cause fans to lose their minds. And it could come out in the next month, or he said in the next 6 months. We'll see. But
Wow,
this has caused
Nostradamus with that tough prediction.
It's a wide net there. But this has caused some wild speculation, surprise, surprise, and a bit of suspicion that Johnny Boy just likes indulging in that hot goss as much as the rest of us do. In the past, some
are you,
similar
man?
hot goss, hot
Johnny
goss.
Boy.
Johnny Boy.
Mario Lopez.
Yeah, this
from
is the
Extra.
Grove behind me. We're going to bring on some people to speculate on what this is. Now, in the past, similar scoop scoops of his included the rumors about Ben Affleck possibly leaving, and that Jake Gyllenhaal might take over the character of Batman. So people are assuming that this isn't what the thing he's been teasing. So guys, let's dish. Let's do some Voss goss here. Who do you think what do you think the worst possible news for fans of the DC movies would be to hear right now?
I want to talk about the credibility of the people making these outlandish statements, because usually in the comic book, usually in the hero superhero space, when it comes to movies, it's Humberto Gonzalez, I think his name is, who is Heroic Hollywood. He has for the last decade been building up sources, and so I usually believe what he has to say a little bit more. John Campea has worked for, I think, AMC and then Collider for about half a decade, and so I'm not entirely sure who his sources are, and it's a little bit of a broad thing to say that I'm 100% certain that something's going to happen.
Something bad's going to happen.
I'm not 100% certain of anything.
Yeah,
I know, doubts about
100%.
gravity.
That's kind of
Well,
unnerving.
and then they went and someone took that soundbite, and I think it was the rap, and said that he said that Matt Reeves was leaving the Batman, and then he had. Are you going up and down?
No, keep going.
What happened to you? Are you okay? But then, so the Rap wrote an article, I think, that was, or maybe it was Collider, I can't remember, because that was his own company. Anyway, regardless, they quoted him out of context saying that Matt Reeves was leaving the Batman for sure. So then he had to go back and say, that's not what I said, and kind of even not admit, but just say, like, it was just, I'm just making a statement, something bad's going to happen, which feels like whenever there's a movie that takes place in medieval times, and there's like a town witch, and the witch like gives like a bad like your family is cursed
Right before they burn her.
Yeah. And then like 3 months later, the son falls off the horse, and the witch is like, "See, I told you,
you shoved him off that horse." But it happened.
But I was correct in saying that. My point is, John Campea is a witch from medieval times.
Well, and Matt Reeves did say on Twitter, people said, "Say it ain't so," and he responded saying, "It ain't so." Like, so that's clearly not what he would be discussing. I don't even know what else, what bad news could be.
Could it be Ben Affleck obviously leaving? But if Jake Gyllenhaal, that is not the worst thing ever. That is
not
amazing.
A bombshell. It's
That's
pretty much what we were kind of waiting for.
Or could it just be
right?
that the Flash solo movie's not going to have, like,
maybe,
it's been delayed forever, it's just going to be shelved, or is it like something?
Did you guys know the directors of that are the directors of Game Night?
Yes.
Yeah, the guys who did, they wrote Spider-Man Homecoming, right? Super funny.
They did Burt Wonderstone, the Incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Yeah, comedy guys.
So it's interesting they held on to another comedic duo, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I don't really know. I think it's really easy just to trigger these DC fanboys out there with any kind of bad news that are happening, because they're so quick to just assume Warner Brothers is going to ruin their favorite characters. I think it's easy to kind of indulge in, like, bad things are on the horizon, guys.
So an easy prediction as well. Something is bad happening with DC and movies.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is the narrative. It's been the narrative for a while now. Yeah.
But I will eat my hat and say, you were right if something does drop and it was 100% predicted. So.
Yeah, we'll cook that hat up nice and we'll all eat it.
Yeah.
Does anyone have John Campea's number? No? We could just text him
get him on
right
the
now.
phone. Can we get him on the phone?
Can we get him on the line? John?
John?
Cincinnati?
I'm sorry,
talking
it was Johnny Boy. If we could.
Johnny Boy?
Yeah, Johnny
Boy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, let's move on to some brighter news from the DC cinematic world. Another update from this week, guys. Leaked set photos of what looks like Zachary Levi in costume on the set of Shazam. Let's take a look here. Oh, looks like the movie will not be holding back from Shazam's bright red and yellow, or bright red and gold color scheme in the comics.
How is this better news? This is the silliest
I said brighter. I didn't say better. Brighter.
This is the silliest picture I've ever seen in my life.
You've never seen colors that bright. Jingle all the way over here.
It does look like Jingle All the Way. It looks like they're making
It looks like a Hallmark
another sequel
movie.
to that that's not Larry the Cable Guy.
Guys, I'm just happy to see it. I mean, Levi has compared the tone of this movie to something closer to Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor Ragnarok. Hopefully that lighthearted, colorful tone will perk things up over on the DC side, yeah?
He looks like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast if he was a superhero
Oh,
character.
in Disneyland? Yeah.
I see like a rebranded Mall Santa, and like he's giving directions to someone.
Santa got cut.
You
this
have
year.
yourself a Merry Christmas there. Okay.
Buddy Santa.
Yeah, but man, what about those boots, right?
I mean, but yeah,
they were
he's
made for
jacked.
walking. Yeah.
He's huge.
So that's padding in the costume.
It's got to be. some
He's
padding.
been desperate to have a superhero role for a very long time, so I'm glad he has one.
Yeah.
I gotta wonder, is this maybe the kind of scene where it's like, just kidding, that's not gonna be your actual costume.
Oh, right.
Because they do that in most.
And also, like a little bit of trivia I got from John Campea, those boots were actually made by Daniel Day-Lewis's character in The Phantom Thread.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he designed.
Gas.
That's a little hot goss for you.
Yeah.
But another thing to look forward to with this movie that I keep forgetting, Finn Wolfhard, Mike from Stranger Things and Richie from It, will be playing the young Billy Batson. So I think ultimately I'm
a big
very
Source
excited
Head
for
fan.
this.
Finn
Yeah.
Wolfhard.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
Finn,
rad.
I tweeted all about
Can we get him on the phone?
Yeah. Finn? Cincinnati?
Finn? All right, well, let's move on to another
Finn,
big
call in
story.
if you're watching.
Another big story from this week.
Not wise.
Wreck-It Ralph 2, also known as Ralph Breaks the Internet, has a new trailer released by Disney this week showing Ralph and Vanellope's new adventures as they surf the World Wide Web. Whoa! We're going through tubes because that's how the internet works. This trailer is full of little Easter eggs and references that are pretty great. Let's break down this trailer and point out all these missable details. We're going to run through them quickly. Here we go. Okay, first, this shot of Litwack's arcade tells us that the second movie takes place 6 years after the first. The sign says Happy 11th Birthday Susie, Susie with a V, which is a callback to the sign in the first movie when it said Happy 5th Birthday Susie. Susie with the V must really love this arcade. She comes here every year. All right. Also, once we go inside of the arcade, there's a bunch of details. The arcade games include Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Virtua Cop, also the made-for-the-movie ones, Sugar Rush and Fix-It Felix Jr. that Wreck-It Ralph is in.
It's also fun.
Yeah?
Yep,
Oh, you had
we
a Fix-It
that in
Felix?
Yep.
Yeah, we did.
Man. Simpler, better times, right? Yeah.
I'm not a part of this,
where's
guy,
our
so I feel
game?
very left out.
The box for this guy's new Wi-Fi router says 800 or 8,000% faster-ish, and the router sits atop a Dragon's Lair video game that was in Stranger Things season 2, if you remember.
With Finn Wolfhard, who loves Source
Finn
Fight
Wolfhard, who loves
Nerd,
Source
right?
Fight,
Yeah.
Now inside. Inside Litwack's office, you can see collectible Yoda and Chewbacca plates, and his computer looks like that 90s era iMac with the, remember with the color body and the USB Wi-Fi adapter. And on the desktop for that computer, one of the files says "Letter to Nana," which is a callback to the first movie when Litwack made a joke about his Nana had gone cuckoo and had to be taken out to pasture. Inside the internet are a ton of Easter eggs referencing different websites. Just to list the ones we spotted quickly, there's Alicine, Hulu, Cisco, YouTube, TripAdvisor, IMDb, National Geographic, eBay. There are also a few parody sites like The Daily Roast for The Daily Beast, Smashable for Mashable, Expectia for Expedia, and BuzzFood for BuzzFeed, which feels like it probably already exists. Like BuzzFeed's already got to have the.
It's called Tasty.
Tasty, yeah. Okay, there you go. And one of the things being auctioned off at eBay, this is fun, is the genie's lamp from Aladdin. Notice how it's going for $35. That's probably not of the joke how the lamp was like considered worthless at the beginning of Aladdin. There are also cameos from Surge Protector and Q*bert. Those were characters from the first movie, and various internet jokes about pop-up ads and clickbait headlines. And if you look closely at the background, there's a pretty dirty joke with a help desk providing services for unzipped services and history clearance. I feel like I'd be at that all the time. Yeah? Gross. Gross. And this ending bit with the pancake milkshake game, it's pretty great. It's very reminiscent of the Exploding Man gag and Monty Python's The Meaning of Life. I love it. And a lot of people have actually pointed out that the little girl playing this game in the back of her car on the iPad is the same character design as Baby Moana. Now, it could be a coincidence, but this movie was animated and written by the same exact team that did Moana, so it's probably an intentional Easter egg, even if it screws with the continuity. Do you guys think Wreck-It Ralph 2 will succeed when it comes to internet humor, where things like maybe the Emoji Movie fell
Don't
short?
compare the two.
Yeah,
I feel like Wreck-It Ralph is the kid version of Ready Player One when it comes to Easter eggs and the 80s culture and all that kind of stuff. But Wreck-It Ralph was before Ready Player One. So I think it's really timely. It did really well the first time. The humor was on point. I believe it's the same team that also did Frozen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the same animation studio.
Jennifer Lander, was it?
Yeah, she did the first Wreck-It Ralph and she
Yeah.
went on and did Frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
She's the producer on this one.
Yeah, she's doing well. She actually did the screenplay for Wrinkle in Time as well.
Oh, yeah.
Cannot be
blowing up.
stopped.
Yeah.
But
I might watch it now. I keep being like weird about Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, yeah?
It's a strange movie.
Yeah.
Is it you don't like Oprah being a blonde, or what's?
You had a
No,
problem
I
with
love
blondes?
Oprah being blonde. Actually, that's why I want to see it.
Yeah.
It's too much for you.
Well, Wreck-It Ralph, I really did enjoy the first one, and I was amazed at how many different like references they were able to fit in a movie. I am excited to see this. I hopefully that like some of those internet humor things are
very
toned down and they keep it more about like the
It's easy
characters.
to mess
and,
up, isn't it?
Yeah,
It sounds
yeah.
like your parents talking about.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
how do you encapsulate something as like huge as it's our entire lives now are on the internet? It's not like something you reference like.
Also, the
website.
title
Yeah.
is a play
Yes.
on that Kim Kardashian magazine, isn't it? Where
Yeah,
like,
the
she-
paste-
where she broke the internet by pouring champagne
paper.
into her
Paper.
butt or something.
It's a router in your butt.
Yeah.
Man, if no one's seen the picture, that's all you need to know.
Yeah. But like, so they're even making a joke about a meme or something.
Yeah, the title could use some work.
Easter egg from John Campia just let me know that New Rockstars is one of our first hosted videos on this channel was about Kim Kardashian breaking the internet.
Oh,
Whoa.
nice.
Great. Well,
Maybe they'll have like a parody of Meme Girls.
Oh.
But meme.
I would like
Believe
that.
in yourself, Pod.
well, let us know what you're most excited about for
This is a Lindsay Lohan point
Ralph
of
Breaks
my
the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2. Comment down below and hit us up on Twitter. And as a reminder to subscribe to New Rockstars for more trailer breakdowns and videos about Pixar movies like The Incredibles and Coco and a really weird one about cars. Go check it out. Thanks, everybody. All right, guys, now it's time to move on to our New Rockstars News Lightning Round.
Yes.
You guys tweeted us some questions. Whoa! We're going to turn this into electricity, right? This is electricity that I'm holding. Sith Lightning.
Unlimited power.
I'm going to fire these questions at my co-hosts who have to answer them as quickly and without hesitation as possible because I like to throw these curveballs, right? All right, here we
Curveballs of
go.
lightning.
For Maude,
Yes.
at Sayurpa wants to know, what plot would you like Dan and Dave to take on for their Star Wars movie? Dan and Dave, the showrunners of Game of Thrones, who are now getting a new Star Wars series.
Oh, Bounty Hunt.
And which Game of Thrones actors would you bring along?
Not Jon Snow. Whoever died in season 1 and 2 because they didn't get a big run. So Bounty Hunters.
Ed Stark.
Ned.
Yeah,
Gotta
Sean
have a bit
Bean.
of Ned. Gotta have a bit of Rob Stark. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
You know.
Rob.
yeah.
I remember that actor.
Yeah.
Rob.
name.
Robert.
He was great in Cinderella, actually. So
Oh,
A lot of those
Richard
people play
Madden.
Mandalorians.
Yeah. Richard
so
Madden
it's
is
a
his
good,
Richard Madden, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Song.
Yeah, exactly.
His name was Richard Madden.
Oh, by the way, I should play Satine, who is the queen of the Duchess of Mandalore. Trust me.
Mandalorian
Look it up.
armor is awesome.
It's me.
Mandalorian. Okay. Okay, for Philip, at Smarta Gensler wants to know, to anyone who bothers to answer, do you think Loki
Okay, so
will
not
get...
for Philip
Philip
or
specific.
insulting.
Well, I assigned it to you. Do you think Loki will get his redemption or remain a traitor and villain? Love you guys. Oh, thanks, Smarta.
Okay.
Oh, yes, Philip.
Loki, so you're referencing the trailer moment. That's all we know about Infinity War
Yeah.
2, where it looks like he's giving the Tesseract to Thanos. So everyone is saying that that's him turning on everyone again. I'll go ahead and say no, that's a misdirect. I think they wouldn't have put it in the trailer, first of all, if it was that. I think that Loki's arc is most near completion toward redemption, especially after Ragnarok, where he was doing the most for fighting for the good side. I think that he had the Tesseract for the whole time he was playing Odin. Why didn't he give it to Thanos then? I think that Thanos hates Loki. Probably he like didn't do what he wanted, and didn't they say something like he's gonna come after you or something? Back in Avengers.
At the end of Avengers. yeah.
And I think Loki's gonna die a good guy in this movie.
Hot take. All right, Tommy.
Yeah.
At Pookness Monster
Sorry,
wants
what
to...
It's still
Poopness
talking,
Monster.
referring to you, Tommy Poopness Monster.
Yeah, at Pookness Monster. Does Aquaman have a cloaca?
Okay.
gosh.
Couple things we need to break down.
Let's define that.
What is a cloaca?
Thank
A
you.
cloaca is an orifice that it's a booty hole. It's a booty hole that
But it
exists
can
in certain animals and
serves
reptiles.
more than one purpose, unlike
Yes.
well, kind of like yours, but unlike ours.
Yeah,
Oh,
for-
so
What?
so like mine, it's all purposes.
Yeah, basically.
Wishes can be
Yeah.
made upon it. Then yes.
All purpose on the surface.
I think Aquaman probably has all the holes that normal people come with.
You asked this.
All the Holes is my favorite song in the new
All of the
Kendrick Lamar.
holes. Listen, bottom line, Bechtold, I guarantee one thing to his fans, and I know that there's at least 10 of you out there. Aquaman's got an out hole and Aquaman's got an in hole, and he's got other holes that do
Same
other
hole.
things, and he's got gills and he's got thrills and he's got spills,
Yeah.
and
That's
he's
from
ready
the
to
hole.
go and he's
Kiddos.
ready to roll. And if you like the ocean, you're gonna love Aquaman. And Kevin Spacey, it was shunned from all the awards, and that's good. And Christopher Plummer's gonna win for
That
best
wasn't the
supporting
question.
actor.
That wasn't the
and
question.
the government is controlled by lizard people.
Puckness
And the
monster
quicker,
is so
and
fast
the
asleep,
lizard
yeah.
people control a shadow government, which is running the United States of America right now. Cloaca, yeah, Aquaman has a cloaca, definitely.
Okay, here we go.
Today I learned.
Yeah, Tommy, wake up, Tommy. Wake up. Okay, for me, at Joel Kramer 13. I think we've had a question from you before.
I got poop monster.
Cloaca question.
You got Joel Kramer.
Yeah, let's see. What kind of stupid idiot?
Joel would never say that. Yeah.
Pick one and use it for the rest of your life. Use Cap's shield as a dinner plate.
Mm-hmm.
Use Doctor Strange's cape as a blanket. Or use Thor's hammer in your butt.
I'm not taking the hammer in the butt. I don't think that was what was asked.
I don't know. That's
I'm
what it
taking the
says.
shield as a dinner plate, man. You won't have to go back for seconds at Golden Corral when you got your Cap shield as a dinner plate.
Let me just go back
it's a
to the
blanket.
lizard shadow government real quick. Okay, these lizards are everywhere. They're reptoids.
I want the
Rectoids.
Wait a
blanket.
second.
This is not a thing. All right. Well, here we go. Thank
Wait,
you for
there's
tweeting
nothing
us.
written on this.
No, yeah, it's all from
There's
my mind.
nothing written
You don't
on
have
this.
a Twitter account. I made up all these names.
Poop
I'm
That's
nest
split.
amazing.
monster. Oh, it's
Yeah.
Pook Nest monster.
That's what I said.
You definitely said
You heard
poopness.
poopness. I said
what?
You
poopness
said
monster.
poopness.
You weren't listening for the
We
K.
all heard poop.
Soft K.
I'm sorry, Pook Nest
Soft K.
monster. And then let's answer your question with some dignity. Aquaman does have a cloaca, and he rinses it out daily.
There you go.
How do you spell it? Cloaca.
Cloaca. C-L-O-A-C-A.
Cloaca.
Oh.
Cloaca. Ding. That means
Oh
it's
man,
incorrect.
our parents are so proud of us.
All right, well, let's move on. Thank you, all of you who tweeted us these questions. And,
Thank you,
keep an eye for
Pookness.
a tweet next week
Thanks,
and
baby
respond to it so you can
girl.
get on the air. All right, next up, let's take a look at what we got in the pipeline for videos coming out on this channel in the next week. Guys, Walking Dead still going strong, or strong if you consider rating series low to be strong.
For
But
that
hey,
episode?
it got well reviewed, but the ratings were extremely low. It was a step up from the series or the mid-season finale back in December,
Also-
but it's still historically the lowest since season 2 of ratings-wise of Walking Dead. There's all kinds of reasons why, guys. I actually think last week's episode was pretty good, like narratively speaking, as its own episode, but the whole show was just lost its
10
way from what's
seasons.
great about the comics, you know. And I hope they can I have hope that they can rediscover what's great about, because currently this all-out war is the best part of the Walking Dead comics. It's amazing that all these episodes aren't freaking great. I think a good way to do it is AMC starts shelling out the money so Jeffrey Dean Morgan can appear in every episode. He is the best character on the show right now. Why is he only in like 25% of the episodes? Makes no sense. Anyway,
Just real quick, if I can interject, I haven't watched the show in a few years, but if they can keep the dynamic between
But
Carl,
here's a relevant opinion.
between Carl and Rick,
And Glenn.
Strong and Glenn, if they could, and that Tiger, if they could just keep the four of
T-Dogs.
those on the Fantastic Four, as I call them in my Walking Dead group, if they can keep the four of them super close, I think the Walking Dead can never fail. It'll never fail.
yeah, guys. Episode 10's airing on Sunday. You can watch it after the Oscars, and then we'll have our breakdown of it. And make sure to tweet us whatever big questions you had after watching the episode, because as you know, we work those into our breakdowns. Sam isn't here, but he is still continuing to do his MCU rewatch. Next week
Or
he'll be.
is he?
Or is he? It was
God, you killed him.
oh my God! You're wearing his face. You're doing his face.
Don't you dab.
Well, he'll be talking about everyone's favorite MCU movie, Thor: The Dark World.
Woof.
But he found some really interesting details that you're definitely going to want to watch this video for.
Shazam's
I
in
like
that
the
movie.
Dark World.
Yeah,
Shazam is
Dark
in
World Jurassic Park is my favorite.
Blonde.
Oh yeah, he is.
And then we have some other videos coming out, but one of them we're going to be looking at the future of the X-Men movie franchise. There's going to be a ton of apparently 6 movies to come out across 2019 and 2020, not even including the 2 X-Men movies between Deadpool 2 and Dark Phoenix to come out this year. So we're going to break down everything to look forward to.
That's a lot.
They're still planning for it, even in spite of this Disney merger. Fox Studios still has a plan, and they are sticking to it. So
Well, and X-Men, I mean, if you think like Marvel in general gets convoluted, like 90% of the convoluted storylines in Marvel are the X-Men. So there's so much left to do, and there's so much they could do. It's actually really exciting. Honestly, like if they committed to doing it.
Just because you could. Did you ever think if you should? Is what I say about X-Men.
From the Dark World Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Okay, well now comes the time for our 15-second shout out, guys. Each of us has 15 seconds to shout out or plug or ramble about anything that we want. Philip, why don't you start?
Tommy.
Tommy, why don't you start? Maude, why don't you start?
Shout out to Fallout Shelter. It's an app. I've been playing it for far too long. I'm currently running 3 different vaults, but it's cool because my internet keeps crashing and my power keeps going out in my apartment, so it's the only thing that I can do and play.
All right, that's a 15 seconds. I'll take it from here. Guys, I recently had the pleasure of watching the TV series on Netflix, End of the Effing World. It's super great. It's only 8 episodes. They're all like 20 minutes long. It's very dark. It's very messed up, and it just follows. It's almost like a Bonnie and Clyde type relationship with 2 English teenagers, and they're kind of borderline psychopathic or self-diagnosed psychopathic, but their relationship is very sweet and very violent, and it's kind of fun to see this relationship unfold. It's based off of the graphic novel series, and it's definitely worth checking out. You can get it done in a day. Why not? Do it. Yeah. Tommy?
Baseball is back, and it's better than ever. Pitchers and catchers and all other position players have reported to Florida and Arizona, and those guys are currently trying their best. And I tip my cap to all the baseball players out there for achieving a dream.
You're out of here.
See ya.
Strike 3. Take your base.
Careful, hold on. We're reaching the limit of everything Eric knows about baseball.
I played it for 5 years.
So 3 things.
Right field.
Hey, batter, so win
Strike 3,
batter.
but take your base.
Strike 3, take your base. They let me take the base.
Oh, good. They keep one at the end of the
year. They let me be Batman and mayor of a city for a day.
You're back in.
Oh God! Real quick, I'll give a shout out to 2 things actually. Real quick. One is the Netflix Queer Eye show. That show is so delightful.
Queer Eye is so good.
So tear worthy.
Yes.
I legitimately have cried watching that.
Too few episodes, only 8, and I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was heartbreaking.
And then also say if you're just bored on Netflix, look up John Mulaney. He's got the best.
Yeah.
He's the best.
So funny.
So funny.
And a sitcom. That's going to run forever.
Oh, no. Tommy, you got to catch up on TV.
Tommy is stuck in the year 2013.
Rick and Carl, John Mulaney, those are my TV guys.
Rick and Carl, John Mulaney.
We didn't start the fire, but I started a fire, and you have to find it somewhere in Burbank.
This doorknob's hot, but so is this one. All right, let's finally return to our trivia question that we asked earlier, everybody. And we're going to redistribute here. No one wrote... Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I'll read that. And then...
That's Sam's answer?
Sam's answer from last week.
Okay.
Is that... Did you write that? Oh, I wrote that. Okay, great. So just to remind ourselves of what the question is, of all the DC and Marvel superheroes to appear in Oscar-nominated films, Batman has appeared in the most, 6 movies. Which superhero has appeared in the second most Oscar-nominated films? Let's start down the line over here.
I had Philip, and he guessed Metal Man / Rocket Man, which I believe he meant to say Iron Man. Iron Man was his answer.
It's a reference to Tommy's dad's name.
Iron Man.
Yeah. The rocket guy.
Iron Man.
Bottom line Bechtold says,
"Oh God,
please help! I'm being held hostage by Erik Tank Voss. I will only go free if you Venmo." Oh, Tommy, my answer is Wolverine. Oh. You know, there's a lot of it's kind of a top-heavy answer there, Tommy. Maybe we should stick to the facts and the truth.
Oh, Tank.
Wolverine's not even a movie.
Yeah. It's a character that we were asked for the character. Oh. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Philip. What did Maude say?
Maude says Superman.
Only because it's been around the longest.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of sound design was won in 1972.
Visual effects.
There you go. Yeah. Cool. Eric said Spider-Man.
I feel like Spider-Man.
Eric is Banana Man.
Banana
shout out. Did you get that in America?
Well, our answer is Iron Man. Ding, 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 ding. He was in 4 Oscar-nominated movies.
Nice.
And the characters of Superman, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Guardians of the Galaxy characters, and War Machine were in 2 Oscar-nominated movies.
Wow, War Machine's sneaking in there.
Yeah, he was in 2 of the Iron Mans.
We did a count not that long ago about the most movies or whatever, and Iron Man's in everything.
Jeez. Yeah.
He's in every movie that's ever been made. Yeah.
So if you think Avengers, and not all these characters are in Avengers and in these other movies.
Plus that Edward Norton Hulk movie swept the Academy Awards that year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Standing
we never
ovations.
nominate another movie. Okay, well, our winner, Philip, definitely got Iron Man. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
who is our loser?
Definitely you.
A bottom line. I think bottom line's a loser.
For what? Wolverine was a great guess, and then there also seemed to be a cry for help that went
No,
ignored
you'll be
by
punished
everyone.
later in other ways off.
$1
Little stunt.
Jokes
Big
on
mistake, Bob.
everyone if he gets $1 million out of this, though.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know how to set up a Venmo account.
Yeah, no,
I'm not allowed to have
I don't give him. I don't give him Wi-Fi.
My parents won't let me.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
I have one
Daddy
of those kid
won't.
debit
Yeah.
cards.
You're the dad that doesn't.
I'm the daddy. I'm
And
not
I have
dad.
Jack's disease, where you grow at 4 times the rate of a normal person.
That's not. That's age, not growth.
Eric, no, I keep growing. I keep growing out and out and out and out. And then someday you said I'll grow up.
Sam, you do look a little different.
Yeah, you just.
Oh, do I?
Okay. Well, Philip will do our goodbyes, and we're going to run through some of our in other news headlines that we did not have time for. I will read each headline. Tommy will have to make a joke at the end of each headline to cleverly riff on it.
Great. All right. This
are you ready,
always
Tommy?
goes good.
Yeah. All right, here we go. In other news, Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn tweeted that Baby Groot is actually the original Groot's son.
Oh, I thought that Grandmother Willow was Groot's grandmother, and that therefore Pocahontas was Groot's mother. And if we do our family tree, we came to that same conclusion.
It's a common misconception.
Well, no, yeah.
Thank you.
yeah,
Good try.
yeah.
Good try. It'll get better.
All right. Next
I'm just
up.
trying not to make any abuse jokes or things
Yeah, I
that
know.
are inappropriate. All right.
Here we go. Kristen Wiig is in talks to play the villain rumored to be Cheetah of the upcoming Wonder Woman sequel.
Okay, well, I think that would be a great call. And Kristen Wiig has certainly been cheetah'd out of some great roles lately, so this could be great for her, a wonder for her career as a woman in Hollywood.
Yeah, good. All right.
Patrick.
Here we go. The creators of the second Frozen movie have said that they're open to the idea of giving Elsa a girlfriend.
Well, if they ever want to have children, I've also frozen my sperm.
Yay! Yeah, I like that.
That's good. We're doing good. All right. Next up, in the novelization of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, or Princess Leia's or General Leia's final words to Chewbacca are revealed to be, "It's just us now."
Really, it's not. Is this plane shaking or is it just me?
Plane?
Carrie Fisher was on a plane when she had a heart attack.
Oh,
Is that too sad?
no,
Is that too sad?
No.
Is that wrong?
To Chewbacca?
You'll be punished later.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
By the
that's-
internet?
By the, yeah. Oh, man,
Okay,
Okay, and James Gunn also engaged on Twitter with Mark Hamill, leading to the two men planning for Hamill to have a role in the next Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's great too. I also support that casting. Twitter seems like a really safe way to negotiate things, as we can tell by our leaders in political office. That if two people communicate on Twitter, good things happen no matter what. I once communicated with a man I thought was my biological father, but it turned out to just be
James Spader.
James Spader.
Yes. By the
Maud
way,
with the assist.
I also responded to that because Geek Bump said that story, and I wrote back going, that'd be a big, an overwhelmingly big yes from me. And Mark Hamill liked my
Liked
tweet.
it.
Hey!
I'm totally going to be in Star Wars, guys.
Congratulations.
It happened on Twitter.
What
so
a
that's
win. That's so great.
Wow.
Now I know what you're going to sound like when you have kids and like they're trying.
Oh,
Wonder Maud, that's so great.
You really gave it a go.
Turn off from my.
All right,
Made
Philip,
from Tommy's Frozen.
take it away for our goodbyes.
Our goodbyes this week in any style. I'm going to give my co-host a compliment. So thank you for watching this week's episode of New Rockstars News. I want to thank our host, Maude Garrett. Sure, she's beautiful, but she actually is so well-informed, so smart, and so talented, and really nice off camera. So follow her at Maude Garrett.
Wow.
Take a compliment.
That's
so sweet.
Tommy Bechtold, while he's not allowed to have social media, he's still one of the funniest people I know, one of the nicest guys in Los Angeles. So if you want his personal phone number,
Oh, yeah,
I
585.
will just share that with you.
Hey, I'm really sorry
real
about that
quick.
Carrie Fisher joke, guys.
Yeah.
I wish I could have it back.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have a heart attack instead, or for her, or with her in solidarity.
Here
That's
you
not the
are.
bottom line.
Dig
All
up.
right. So if you want to hit him up, it is 585. And then Erik Voss, he's one of the smartest people I know. The third funniest person I know.
Wow.
But he's so good on this channel.
Hi,
And he
for
follow
first.
him at EA Voss. And anywhere he goes to do new shows, improv shows or sketch
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
And
We're
I've
figuring
been
it out.
at Filup Molina, but that's not my handle. It's actually at Fimo, and I got it wrong.
Yeah, it's on the prompter as that.
And I'm Sam Basher. And you follow me on my new podcast, Sam.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah. All right. Well, comment down below and tweet us at New Rockstars. Like this video, share it around, subscribe to New Rockstars for deep dives on all the stuff you love. See you guys next week. Bye.
I love you.
Bye.
I love you very much.
Bye.
I love you very much.
Yeah.